Hey everybody, this is Kodak here, and it's finally time to take a look at some more new Bakugan stuff. Today we are taking a look at Deka Bakugan. These actually, well, I guess they didn't really come as much of a surprise. They were introduced at Toy Fair, although I admit in my earlier videos I was not expecting them to be made. A few people have already done some videos on Deka Bakugan. They've mostly focused on Deka Drago, so I guess it's up to me to do Deka Nillious. Anyway, Deka Bakugan have actually been a thing in the series pretty much from the beginning, as you can see from my, Deka Dual Elfin here, and all they really are is just super-sized versions of the Bakugan core toys. They are not really meant to be used into play, even though this one has the B power jotted down on it. They are actually meant to be showpieces, meant to show off the work that goes into the Bakugan. And the Battle Planet Bakugan, in case you didn't already know, have some incredible detail put into them. So it is a real treat to have some larger ones here. We're gonna have we have Dragonoid, we have Nillious, we're also going to have Gortheon. That's going to be fun to look at, although unfortunately that means no Deka Pegatrix has been listed yet. Although, personally, I wish that they had Deka Ultra Bakugan. However, it turns out that Deka Bakugan in the Ultra form are actually kind of impossible because of the crazy ways in which they open and activate. The core classic Bakugan activates similar to how the classic Bakugan did, which is that they just have a magnet on the bottom that they attach to, but Ultras kind of leap around, and that doesn't work so well in form here. But we'll get to take a look at what is in here. We have Nillious in the Deka form here, the Dynamax Nillious, and the basic Nillious here for comparison. Now, this Nillious comes with a random ability card and a Jumbo Baku Core, although the Baku Core doesn't really have any function beyond just being a large core to go with the large Bakugan. Quick look at the back. Yeah, this thing's so big. Its massive size cannot be contained by a single half here. So we have the Nillious, the random ability card, the ability card that came with the Deka Dragonoid, which I co-starred in that video. Was not very impressive. I kind of wish they'd put rarer cards in these special things, but it also comes with the core, and again, just like with the Diamond 3-pack, we have the core and the Wave 2 Arena. Let's take a look inside. And here we have the contents of the Deka Nillious, minus the regular Nillious, which I'm simply using here as an example of comparison. Anyway, Deka Nillious comes with the double-sided Bakugan Battle Planet. It says that on one side. Flip it over. We got our picture of Nillious on the other side there, although they're using the picture for Ultra Nillious, which is kind of interesting. And they're technically supposed to be the same character, although the card it came with is Dark Boost, which is not a good card. It is 2 cost for 5 damage, which is on par with damage boosts for high damage attributes, which in this case we are dealing with Darkest. However, Dark Boost is an absolutely terrible card. There are many better damage boosters, even at 2 cost. You have Tainted Touch, which actually you have to sacrifice to boost to 7, but you can combine that with cards like Shadow Coil and China Riot to boost that damage even more. Discarding Shadow Coil with the effect of Tainted Touch does 11 damage. That's more than twice as much for the same cost as Dark Boost. So, not a very good card. Here's the thing. If you're going to be including cards in pieces that cannot be used in the game, either make them good or don't include them at all. Honestly, it's kind of a letdown to just get a common card in a $15 toy. Although $15 actually isn't too bad for something like this. I think some of the older ones were a bit more than that. But anyway, taking a look at the actual ball form, compared to my Deka Dual Elfin, they seem to be the same size, unlike the previous generation, which saw a significant increase in size between the previous generation and the new generation. It's a little hard to tell, but part of that is because the symbol on there is flat. Maybe the Nillious does look like it's a little bit larger, but anyway, it is pretty much an enlarged version of regular Nillious, which is, of course, a very, very nice treat. We get some slightly cleaner paint details. We get a better look at some of the things like the fan turbines on the side. We get a lot of looks at that nice neck detail and the tail detail and all of that, as well as the feet there. Very, very nice to be able to take a look at a lot of those details, but it matters more when it is opened. Don't talk to me or my son ever again. And here we have Deka Nillious versus regular Nillious. As you can see, it's pretty much just an upscaled version of regular Nillious. You can finally make out a lot of the fun details with like the screw propellers in the face, and that's actually something new on the face. There's actually like a number of like divots on the top of the head there that are sort of unique to the Deka version. I wonder if they were part of the original design and just kind of got scratched. That's one of the benefits of modern toy design is they're created in like 3D development programs, so upscaling them really isn't a problem, which means these sorts of things should be pretty easy to make. So if these first few sell, then they should be pretty popular. A couple of things that are different though is the regular Nillious has sort of an arrow on the back of its tail, which the Deka Nillious lacks. Another big difference is that while regular Nillious has a B power printed on the tail, Deka Nillious does not have a printed B power, although from how much difficulty I had getting it to actually open on this oversized core, you can kind of, I can certainly understand why they might have opted to not give Deka Nillious anything that could be misinterpreted as being usable for gameplay. But yeah, this guy is not meant to be used for gameplay. He's meant to be a display piece. If you're like a big fan of Nillious or of Magnus or anything like that, this is something you would put up on your display, like me with my Elfin over here. Anyway, I would like to see more Dekas in the future. I do want to see Deka Pegatrix. That is the thing I want to see the most. That is, so far, like the core Bakugan with the most attention to detail that I really like. And while I understand that Ultras are basically impossible because they might actually be, you know, a little bit dangerous with how they jump around, you know what I'd like to see? I still want to see the Ultras in large form because those are the Bakugan that have the most interesting detail to them. But do you know how I think it should be done? How about springless, magnetless, like hand-transforming Bakugan? Like ones that you have to transform completely by hand, but which still have all of that lovely, lovely Ultra Bakugan detail. Like imagine what that would be like a full-size, like, Diamond, like a full-size Trux Ultra or a full-size Dragonoid Ultra. That would just be incredible, and I think people would buy them. The Ultras are by far the most attractive characters in the line, and I think people would really go for it, and the fact that it doesn't have any springs or magnets in it would probably make them fairly cheap to make, so they could probably make it for the same price that they make these. I think that would be awesome. Anyway, this is the return of Deka Bakugan, and a look at Deka Nillious, and until next time, this is Kodak signing off.